Right. Next development block. New ships. Close testing 0.11.11. When are they gonna hit the like 1.0? I'm actually really surprised that they didn't do that for submarines. I thought that like if you were gonna get anything positive out of subs, they could have made a whole game release party. They release 1.0. Oh, we got all the classes in now. The game is finally released, full release, yada yada, and maybe try to attract some new players that way. But no, it's 0 point whatever forever, I guess. I mean, to be fair, I would say that the game is further away from release after the subs were added than before they were added. So maybe Wargaming is on to something here. 1.xs would mean a new engine. Ah! Commonwealth Cruiser Brisbane. Tier 10. This looks like a Minotaur. That looks a lot like a Minotaur. That looks wait, 2 smokestacks and the guns on the side. Oh wait, hold on. Is that just a Minotaur? Maybe there's something else going on there that I missed. Where's my Minotaur? Is it in my favorite ships because I play it? No. There's Minotaur. 2 smokestacks. The guns on the side, the double smokestacks, the masts. The back mast is a bit different, but it's like very identical otherwise. Very similar, like very small changes to the masts, that's really all I see, but everything else is almost identical. More modern masts, I guess? Okay. A project for a light cruiser developed after the end of World War II that would have been equipped with powerful advanced AA defenses, thanks in part to its main battery of 10 quick-firing 152mm dual-purpose guns. Brisbane resembles Minotaur, but with access to HE shells. That's actually fucking funny, because Minotaur used to have HE. But Wargaming removed it because they considered it a toxic addition to the game to have so much HE spam in a smoke. Then they released Smolensk. And now I guess the meta has devolved to the point where they think this is okay. Interesting. And a reinforced torpedo armament that can launch a greater number of torpedoes. The torpedoes themselves have a higher range and speed than those of the British counterpart. Interesting. Not all differences are advantages, however, as Brisbane's AP shells lack the improved characteristics that Minotaurs have. Yeah, but you have HE. That's much better. You can start fires. And you can't be angled against. HE is much better. The cruiser poses a serious threat at medium distances, especially for enemy destroyers due to her hydroacoustic search and surveillance radar consumables. At the same time, as most Minotaur captains can attest to, Brisbane's armor is not the sturdiest, and unlike Minotaur, the ship cannot switch out her surveillance radar for a smoke generator for an added layer of security. So wait, they took radar Minotaur but made it better. It's got the specialized repair as well. Did they just take radar Minotaur and give it HE? That's insanely lazy in terms of ship design. That's insanely fucking lazy. It's a copy pasta, but you have H instead of AP. But like, this thing is obviously going to be really powerful if it has identical stats, because one of the great weaknesses is with radar Minotaur is when the DD angles and starts kiting away, you do like 0 damage, but this thing is just going to chunk it like crazy. The roll notes menu, okay. Town class, lander class, and this is why we're called it Melbourne. Okay. We decided to give the cruiser that could have been built in the late 1940s the name of the 3rd largest city, Brisbane. Okay. So that's the Brisbane's origin story. 43.3k plating. This seems very identical, right? What's Minotaur helpful? Oh, we're running HP perk, but I think it's the same, yeah. It's good. It's the same, yeah. It's like exactly the same. Actually, this thing doesn't have short fuse AP, which is actually probably an advantage. If it doesn't have the short fuse AP, then you can actually citadel things with this thing, which is an advantage considering you have HE. 4.5. It's copy pasta. It's all copy pasta. These tropes are same, but well, 12.5 and speed. 65, 12.5. These are 62, 10. But the alpha is identical. So 2.5 extra range, slightly faster. Same detectability though. Wait, 1.3? Is it really the same detectability? Okay, that doesn't make any sense. Normally in World of Warships, the faster the torpedo is, and the better the range and the harder it hits, the worse the torpedo detectability, unless it's a deep water. But they just buffed these values, but they didn't touch the detectability. Interesting. Oh, it's 4x4, 4x5 instead of 4x4, so you get more of them as well. Huh. Interesting. And it's still, you can still single launch them. This seems just better. And you get a lot more value out of the torps on an HE spammer as well, because if you land a torp and he DCPs, you just burn him. So, what's the reload? 4.5. What's Minotaur's stock reload? Shit, I actually need to check it here, because if I don't want to demount all my shit. Is Minotaur reload worse than that? Let's see, Minotaur main battery. Minotaur gun reload is 3.2. That's a pretty significant downgrade then. But on the other hand, you're shooting... Oh, you get 30mm pen. We didn't even touch upon that. You get built-in 30mm pen on the HE. With 9% fire chance. Holy shit, wait, this thing is gonna be like an insane fire starter, right? Won't it? I'm pretty sure it is. Why wouldn't it be? It's gonna be really absurd, right? 9% fire starting capacity is kind of insane. Wooster has 4.6 fire starting capacity, 4.6 reload. Wooster has 4.6 reload and a 12% fire chance, which makes it second best fire starter after Colbert. This thing is going to be pretty fucking good at starting fires, I reckon. With fire flags on. Interesting. Of course, 30mm pen. It's 152s. Of course. Of course. Of course, of course, that kind of pen with 152s. Of course, of course. That's why, for example, Alexander Nevsky, which has 180mm guns, also has 30mm pens. Because, of course. Of course. Of course. Of course. Of course. I love when people go, of course. And it's like, no, that doesn't make any sense. Like, there's no fucking consistent logic behind it. And that's why Haruguma also has 30mm pen. Because it has 100mm guns. Of course. Of course. Of course. Okay. AA defense. Whoa, that's a lot of mid-range. 6 flak. Okay. The AA looks pretty good on this thing. Maximum speed 33.5, turning to 750. Rudder. Okay, rudder is pretty oof. 11.5 surface. But what kind of surface can you get? Is it standard Minotaur? 9.3. 9.3. What's the radar range? What it gets... Yeah, no, that's... Wait, is Minotaur 9.3? That's not the same. Minotaur is 8-9. Minotaur is 8-9. You guys saying it's the same are full of shit. You guys don't know what you're talking about. Minotaur is 9, actually. 9 these days. 9. Flat 9. It's not the same at all. It's not the same at all. It's worse, but it's not. It's still stealth radar. It's still stealth radar. Damage, specialized repair, 3 of them. Hydro radar. This kind of seems like a pretty lazy copy pasta where they just tweaked the numbers and gave it HE. But it's probably going to be quite powerful though. Because honestly, HE Minotaur, that sounds like like a lot of fun to play. Not sure how much fun it's going to be to play against that. Because running into like radar Minnow is already kind of painful. But at least you know that when you angle against it, you can kind of like mitigate the damage. Against this thing, you can't really mitigate the damage in any way. You just get fucked. Which is, eesh. What's the point of Wooster, though, at this point? What's the point of Wooster, though, at this point? Wooster has 9 km radar. This thing has 10 km. And it can stealth radar. And it has super heal. Why would I play Wooster if I can play Brisbane? Oh, and this thing has torps. Really good torps, actually. Wooster has no torps. What's the point of Wooster? The 25mm nose? Why play Wooster when you can play Nevsky? Now he's thinking. Will it have UK acceleration? I would assume so if they make it a full Minotaur copy. Isn't Wooster like really slow? Yeah, 34.7. Yeah, 37.4. What? It's the same. No, 33. It's 33 base. What was this thing's speed? 33.5. So it's faster. It's faster. 750, 10.4. 740, 8.1. Wooster handles a bit better. But the concealment is much worse than the Wooster. 9.8 conceal versus 9.3 on the Brisbane. AA is kind of the same, but you get defensive AA on Wooster, which I guess is an advantage. But on the other hand, you don't have any super heal on the Wooster, so... But yeah, no. When I compare them, Brisbane just seems so much better. Wait. Brisbane gets Diff Charge Airstrike. Oh, the Wooster gets the same. Okay, Wooster gets the same. I still don't see understand the consistency at all with the airstrikes. Why some ships get them and some ships don't. I've never really understood it. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. But doesn't Minotaur get ship based? Doesn't Minotaur get ship based? Wait, hold on. Am I misremembering? Am I completely misremembering? No, I'm not. Minotaur gets ship based ASW. Minotaur gets ship-based W, but this thing gets airstrike. How the fuck does that make any sense? Like, how are you supposed to keep track of this? They literally pick and choose. Obviously, airstrike is much better, because you don't have to fucking push your ship into a vulnerable position to drop them. You can just drop them from cover and shit. So, this is like million times better. Wow. Huh. Literally same ship with identical model, but one of them has a ASW, like ship-based, the other one has an airstrike. I don't, like, how are you supposed to keep track of this? Now I get some guy in chat going, oh, of course it's gonna have airstrike. Of course. Of course. King of consistency, wargaming, of course. Same reason he has 30mm pen, of course. American super destroyer Joshua Humphreys. Holy shit. Okay. These turrets look. It looked like the fucking Forrest Sherman turrets or guns. Wait, this is a super destroyer. Is this a super Forrest Sherman? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Gearing class ships. The main armored supership consists of powerful 127mm post-war dual-purpose mounts complemented by two 5-tube torpedo launchers. Faster and more agile ship with 6 mainboard guns and access to the burst fire alternative fire mode. So this thing is burst fire. Of course it gets. For the same reason that Patry didn't and Clausewitz didn't, of course this thing gets it. Of course. Flamu, you idiot. Of course. Consistency, of course. In addition to a greatly increased fire rate, the alternative mode grants a temporary bonus to HE shell's damage and chance to set fires. Of course. The ship's strong gunnery and large HP pool allow her to effectively contest key areas while posing a serious threat to enemy destroyers. Okay. The torpedo armament has a high range, but not the greatest speed and damage. Joshua Humphreys stands out for her good concealment and access to the signature American smoke generator consumable. Engine boost defensive AA. Wait. Good concealment. While also having strong gunnery and a large HP pool. Uh-oh. I'm seeing all the signs of Ebola right now. Yep. Father of the American Navy, 6 frigates. We decided to honor him with a new destroyer from the second half of the 1940s. Uh-oh. 23.7k health. Okay. That's pretty tanky. This game basically became an arcade RPG game where you combo your 4-5 gimmicks and execute fatalities. I mean, not entirely wrong. Okay, so 23.7k. That's more than the Zorkia has. Interesting. That's more health than the Zorkia has. That's like a really high health pool. Plating 19. Will it get Gearing's 21mm side plating, which is quite good against especially European destroyers. Reload time 3. Didn't have 6 guns. How much DPM does this thing have? Six guns, 3 seconds. Did anyone calculate the DPM on this thing? What's Gearing's stats? What's Gearing? Gearing has 3x2 3-second reload. Is this identical to Gearing? It looks like Gearing damage. Does the Gearing have the same alpha? Gearing has 1.8, yes. Yeah, looks like Gearing alpha. Gearing damage. So it's copy paste the Gearing. Copy paste the Gearing DPM. Okay. Well, that's not a bad DPM value to have. It's not a bad value to have. It's like, it's still among the top DPMs in the game. Gearing does a lot of damage. The burst though. Reload time 35 seconds. Interval between individual shots 1.5. Burst in a series. So you shoot 18 shells? 18 shells in a burst. 18 shells. With plus 50. Wait, okay, we need. Let's math this. 8x 1,800. We do 1.5. 48k burst. And provided you do pin damage, so which is roughly a third. Oh, whoops. Oh, wrong fucking button. What was it? 48. 16k burst on a DD potentially. 16k burst on a DD. That's pretty brutal. In 4.5 seconds, yeah. That's actually really fucking brutal. Especially like you slow down, you smoke while you're fighting an enemy DD, you switch to burst, you fucking slap him for 16k, and then you go dark in the smoke. That's pretty brutal to deal with. That's pretty brutal to deal with. Also, plus 5% fire chance is really big. It's actually really big. It doubles your base value. It doubles your base value. That's a lot of fucking fire chance. That's a guaranteed fires. Guaranteed fucking fires at that point. No accuracy buff, true, but Diff charges 5.1, 2, okay. Torpedo tube 2x5. This looks like pretty standard gearing torps. This looks like standard gearing torps. Now gearing torps are great, don't get me wrong. Gearing torps are very, very good. Looks pretty standard. AA defense. 6 flag. Surely that's quite a bit better than gearings, right? What's gearing's flag? 3 flag. Okay, so you double the flag. You double the flag. Of course you do. And the alpha goes up and the continuous goes up. Interesting. 37.2 knots. That's pretty good. What's gearing speed? What is gearing speed? 36. So you gain 1.2 knots of speed. The concealment is identical. The rudder shift is a bit worse at 5.1. And the air detect is a fair bit worse. Damage control, smoke, engine boost. Huh. Yeah, so you end up with what? You end up with 5.6 cam. Well, is this legendary gearing? Yeah, it's legendary gearing. Shit. 5.8. Isn't 5.8? I think 5.8 is stock, right? You end up with 5.8 standard gearing, right? Honestly, this thing doesn't seem that super, except for the burst. The burst is nasty, because it has 50% damage on it. The burst seems really cracked. Everything else is just like, well, it's a slightly bulkier gearing. It's a slightly bulkier gearing. I think the scary part about this ship is just going to be the burst. The Z42 looked like more of a super destroyer than this thing did, to be fair. Because that thing will look hilariously broken. But, I mean, this is a ship that I could see them releasing it as it is. And it would fit tier 11. It would fit as a tier 11 thanks to the gimmick. It wouldn't be a fucking Conde or an Annapolis. But it would be more along the lines of a Patri. Which is honestly what I hoped the tier 11s would be. I'm not a big fan of this gimmick though. I don't like how they're picking and choosing which ships they give gimmicks to and so forth, but... This is pretty nasty though. This is pretty nasty. Because I could also see you land a torpedo, someone DCPs, you pop your burst, you fucking throw this shit at them, guaranteed fires, while you sail behind an island or something. It's like... There's a lot of value in this because it's raw damage and fire chance. Two things which gearing loves to have in its arsenal, so... Gimmicks are sussy though. Gimmicks are they're annoying to deal with. Pan Asian, another super destroyer. 2 super destroyers. Kunming. It's just gonna be a pimped out. Wait, an evolution of the American submersible. Okay, I thought it was gonna be a pimped out Yu Yang, like some super radar YY or something, but coming. Hands up. An evolution of the American submersible class. This destroyer is fast, well-armed, and features enhanced torpedo and anti-aircraft armor. Follows the gameplay concept of existing researchable Pan-Asian destroyers. Which ones? Which ones? Because YY plays very different because of the leg mod and radar build. The main difference between this ship and YY is an additional main battery turret, a longer firing range, and more torpedo tubes. Okay. The powerful deep-water torpedoes have a low detectability and increased chance of cause flooding. Yeah, blah, blah. It's got the fast smoke. This is good. Radar. Okay, so you can write... Oh, it actually follows YY. Okay, smoke or radar. No legendary radar mod, though. Or legendary mod on this one. The ship has a rather small HP pool and a below average damage per second on her main battery guns. Okay. That sounds sus. Why would I want to build radar on it then? Why do I want to build why do I want to build an engagement consumable if I don't have engagement tools? Engine boost, torpedo reload booster in separate slots. This is why they added that one commander. Didn't we see some really cracked new Pan-Asian commander recently? We recently saw some really cracked new Pan-Asian commander in the works, didn't we? That had a bunch of fucking buffs on it. So this is why they added it. It had a bunch of... Oh, and it had a spotting thing going for it. That commander literally got 20% reload by spotting. They're gonna balance this ship around that special commander. That's what they're gonna do. That's what they're gonna do. I remember they introduced a new spotting thing, and then they introduced that you get 20% reload if you spot a lot. That's what they're gonna build this thing around. The Nick Sansonetti, right? Ham's Hammer, thank you to 14. Okay, Chinese destroyers are named after large and medium-sized Kunming. Okay. The Super Captain. Yeah, you got reload and extra torpedo reload booster if you landed 6 torpedoes, right? I feel like we need to dig that thing up, because it's very relevant to what we're watching right now. Shit, where was it? Was it in which deblog was it? Was it the Soviet subs deblog? Was it in the Soviet subs deblog? No? Which one was it? Where the hell was it? It's clan battles thing, test ship thing. No, it wasn't here. Was it in the news somewhere? It's in the patch notes. It's in the patch notes. That's where it is. Let's find it. Because that's very relevant to what we're watching here. Okay, here we go. Update. Content additions. Here we go. This is exactly what I was looking for. Look. Let's refresh what we're looking at here. Testing of a unique Pan-Asian commander. The commander has the following enhanced skill. 12.5 consumable action time. The following talents. Combat Scout, which was if your spotting is 20% of the base health and you deal 5% damage, then you get this. 20% main battery gun reload time. And if you land 6 torps, you get 5% torpedo speed and minus 25 to torpedo reload booster consumable cooldown and 1 extra consumable. And potential damage, ship consumable cooldown. But these two are obviously going to be quite relevant. These two are going to be quite relevant. So that's why they added that. Let's see what we have here. 20.2k health. Not that low HP. Didn't say it was low HP. That's not that low HP at all. Main battery 4x2. 13.4 base range. That's very good, actually. 5-second reload. That's not that impressive for a destroyer. Diff charges. Torpedo tubes. 3x5. What? Wait. Are they all center ship? Are they all center ship or are they on the sides? They're all center ship. They're all center ship. You don't even need to turn your ship to drop them. So you can drop a 15 torpedo broadside. And you got torpedo reload booster to drop another 15. 30 deep water torps. Holy shit. Okay. 18.8k. That's a weird number. That's more than the current. That's a weird number. That's a weird fucking number. That is an interesting number. Where the fuck is the 1-1? Where is my YY? All? Pan Asian ships, please. There it is. These are what? Oh, there's also 18.8. What a weird number. I didn't remember that. Same torps, but just a whole set more. Reload time 139 seconds. These are 129, but do I have a 10%? Do I have a perks here somewhere? No. I have nothing buffing the torpedo reload. Yeah, I have nothing buffing the torpedo reload. So it's 10-second extra reload, but in return you get a whole extra set. Everything else looks identical. AA is not gonna do much. Maximum speed 38. That's faster than YY, isn't it? Yeah. The YY is 36.5. This one is 38. So it's faster. 1.5 knots faster. Handles really well. For a super destroyer, this thing handles great. Thank you, RP. And Skatha. And Hamshammer. This thing handles great. 7.8 surface detect. Wait, what the hell do we end up with here? 6.3. That's 6.3. Jesus, that's almost like leg mod YY conceal. You get DCP. Thank you for the hype frame, my dudes. DCP, surveillance radar, 25-second duration, 7.5, or smoke generator. Engine boost, torpedo reload time 8 seconds. Wow, you don't get the 30-second penalty, you get the 8-second penalty. That's gonna be 30 torps with an 8-second interval. Holy shit. 15 and 15. That's actually kind of fucking terrifying. Man, that's gonna suck to push into. That's actually gonna suck to push into. Interesting. But honestly, besides the torps, this thing doesn't have that much else going for it. It's got really nasty torps, like really fucking nasty torps. But if you're playing a DD and you're fighting this thing, I mean, it doesn't have the best conceal, and the DPM doesn't seem that impressive. You can probably fuck with this thing pretty hard. What's the DPM does this thing end up with? It's got 8 guns, so it's not that bad. 5 seconds on 8 guns isn't that bad. Did anyone calculate the DPM on this thing? Why would you play Yamagiri over this? Now that's a pretty interesting question. $172k. So that's actually identical DPM to the Yamagiri. 172k is identical DPM to the Yamagiri. Doubt that's a coincidence. Because the Zorkyo is 172k HE DPM, the Yamagiri is 172k HE DPM, and now Kunming is going to be 172k HE DPM. That's probably not a coincidence. Yamagiri has 18 torps. Fair. Still, this thing has 30 torps. Interesting. It's based on the summers. True summers. I mean, the lack of conceal is probably the conceal is probably why you'd play Yamagiri instead. But if you want to play a super ship, why are you playing a super destroyer? That's a good question. Just play Smallland. That's a super destroyer. Still, this engine boost as well. Yeah, this thing seems. We'll see. It seems brutal to deal with though. Like this thing is gonna suck so hard if you get a dented DD, which is the majority of DDs, on your side, and you're trying to push a flank in a battleship or a cruiser. This is just gonna suck. Like it's just gonna suck to deal with because it's gonna be so many torps. Interesting. Into the dusting ships. Low health too, 20.2. I mean, it's low, but I wouldn't say so low. It's a lower health pool than you have, but it's still gonna be. That's still more health than. Well, you got the same health as Dollar now. It's still more health than YY. Almost 2k more health than YY. Jinan moment. Yeah, 40 torps with the Citadel. Yeah, but the thing with the Jinan is you have to give the broadside. You have to turn to drop torps, don't you? Whereas this thing, a full potato, can just sail in a straight line like this and drop 30 torps on you in 8 seconds. And that's gonna suck to dodge.